course of the last week, I've been very busy, and that's because I have been on a mission of conquest. I went to every single locals in San Diego, and I won every single Yu-Gi-Oh tournament so I can get all these packs of OTS 28. That was a lie. But there was a cool little story to add to the journey of this video. I got my hands on OTS 28. Now, in case you don't know how this works, basically, the way you get these tournament packs is, as it sounds, is a tournament pack. You have to win tournaments. But unfortunately, I just don't have the time. And I also really just don't want to play paper Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I'm not a big fan of the format, which is weird because my opinion tends to change a lot. But right now, I'm just not really into it. Essentially, the way it works is when you go to these tournaments, I think for entry, you get like 2 packs. And then if you win, you get more packs. And 1 out of like a billion of these packs will have an ultimate rare. And this set is probably one of the most hyped that was released in a long while. That's because there is a dragon chamber dragon maid inside the set. A Silvia, which I'm saying these 2 names, and many of you guys are gonna be like, we don't care about those. But the third one is the reason why we're doing this. Blue Eyes White Dragon, the SDK art, the very first art. We finally got that card that was originally released in 2001 in Japan in Spell of Mask in English. Now they have 2 forms of ultimate rares. They have the ones that you get in like the rarity collections, which doesn't really look that good. It's like more shiny. I'm not really a big fan of it. But the OTS ones, honestly, chef's kiss. They look fantastic. And we're gonna try to pull the Blue Eyes White Dragon today. So just see how it goes. So the way this works is it's only 3 cards per pack. Technically not supposed to sell these, but I got my hands on it on eBay. Got a lot of packs, and we're just gonna go ahead and go in raw right now. First one, we got Chaos Star Source Dragon, and then you're gonna get 2 holos, or non-holos, I mean. This set actually isn't that bad. There's a lot of good reprints in there. Like I know Brain Control is in there. There is the Lunar Light stuff as well, which Lunar Light is coming back, if I'm saying that correctly. And also the one I'm excited for is they finally have a foil version of Sylvie, which is, you know, the most important card in White Forest. And for some reason, that card was common. And then the OTS 27, they released Rusia, which isn't like the main card. It's an extender, but not the most important card. So the fact that they released that in super rare over Sylvie first is crazy to me. But hey, that just makes this set a lot more fun for me to open because I need to get 3 copies of that. So, right off the bat, we got Silvia. And look, this is what I mean. The ultimate rares in the OTS pack look so much better than the ones in the rarity collection and stuff like that. So we're gonna go ahead and sleeve this up. Let me see how this looks. The thing about these, this actually looks good. These things are infamous for having horrible chipping. And edge wear and corners and stuff like that. I need 2 copies of this, by the way, so getting this is great. It's another reason why I'm super excited about OTS 28 because I actually could use these. It's like a $30 card. And previously this is only available in super rare format. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't release a QCR of this, unless they just plan on doing this. Look how awesome that looks. Love that card. All right, we're down 1 already. All right, and then here's the 2 commons that no one cares about. Here's the Brain Control. Yeah, okay. Keep it going. And hopefully we can get a Blue Eyes, but not just that, but also a Blue Eyes that looks good, because I would love to grade one. But unfortunately, I have pretty much failed on every single attempt of grading ultimate rares from OTS packs because quality control just goes out the window for some reason. We got Planet Pollutant Virus. What does this even do? Should we do alien? It's an alien card. We don't care. Why are they printing? See, there's a Moonlight stuff. Why is Alien being printed again? Can someone explain that to me? I mean, I would say I keep up pretty reasonably well with Yu-Gi-Oh! And nobody plays Alien anymore. It's kind of confusing. We got Lizard Rose. This is actually a decent card. Very useful right now. Oh, Fish, and then Heraldic Beast. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that one. All right, on to the next one. We have 100 packs here, by the way. I thought about doing... It's not like open. But this is like... Look at this. This is like basically already opened. It's not resealed. It's just a bad seal job. I was about to say something before I got distracted by that pack. Memento is actually insane right now, by the way. Memento is that deck that I remember the first time I seen it, I'm like, why does no one play this deck? And people found out it was good, and they started cooking with it. And then it won a YCS. And here we are. Now we're seeing them more and more. I like how in the Yu-Gi-Oh community, a lot of times people are just going to ignore a deck until it does something. Because a lot of times with me, I'm telling you right now, I'm not the best player. But I will see cards, and I'll be like, huh, am I stupid or is this card cracked? and then I see the card be worthless until it becomes worth something. A good example actually was when the Primite engine was released. And this is a good example because Primite, when it first came out, in case you don't know, Primite is what you play in Blue Eyes. It was a crazy negate setup. On top of that, you can use it to play through like hand traps before you do your main combo on top, as well. When that card first came out, all the cards, you know, Ether Barrel Dragon, Lordly Load, and Drill Beam, nobody cared. It was like dead ass, it was like a $5 card. It was like a $5 card. And then all of a sudden, weeks later, I wouldn't even say weeks, it was like 2 months later. 2 months later, people were, I guess, read the card and they were like, yo, this is cracked. And then it shot up. Granted, it did coincide with the release of Blue Eyes, which made it a lot more playable at the time. But then people realized, hey, we can play this in almost any deck. What are we doing? But another good example is I remember reading that card, I'm like, this actually looks kind of insane. Why aren't people not playing this? And I think the reason is because no one really wants to be, maybe I'm being harshly critical when I say this, but no one wants to be creative in Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of people just want to, like, you know, look up the best deck and just play that. Learn that one deck and then call it a day. Oh, my Dragon Master Magia is falling. I've upset the Yu-Gi-Oh! Gods for spitting the truth right now. But also, I'm not going to knock people for, you know, net decking. I think net decking is fine. It's just that, I just want people to kind of play the game more and understand what they're looking at before, you know, they just hop in, because that's how we get stuff like, oh! Blue Eyes White Dragon. Ooh, that looks so sick. It is not centered well at all. Yo, this act, I'm not even gonna lie, this does not look bad. It's got a shot at a 10. The only thing that hurts it right now, it's got really, really bad centering. I mean, you can see it with a blind eye. But look how gorgeous this card is, dog. A lot of people were critiquing this card. They're like, it doesn't look that good. This looks fantastic, dude. Even when it was, you know, revealed to be getting it, a lot of people, I think what happened was is a lot of people didn't like the Exodia head. And they automatically blamed Konami and said, oh, this card's gonna be ass too. This looks great. It doesn't look as good as the Spell Mask version, because that one was a bit more, was more textured. This looks fantastic. Even the stamp on the back, when they stamp the pattern on it, doesn't look too damaging. It's got a shot. The only thing that will probably knock it, like I said, is going to be the centering. So we'll see what happens. That's exciting. That's a win. Again, people often ask me, how do you grade cards? You get these card savers, you get a penny sleeve, just slide it in. Slide it in. Careful though, because these things can sometimes like kind of like pop. Just nerve-wracking when you do it. Just don't be an orangutan, I guess, when you're shoving the card into the card saver. And before I do it like an orangutan and then ruin the card. But the reason why these are good is because it keeps the card from like moving around. Like, again, you can use a Poplar if you want to, but it's kind of free to move in there. So let's say something crazy happens where the box gets thrown or falls, it's gonna shuffle. It might hit those corners where it could potentially get damaged. But this is cool. All right, have I gotten? Hold on, I just realized, have I gotten Sylvies yet? I have not, have I? It's funny. Sylvie is one of the things I'm going for right now. And before I don't get a single Sylvie inside these packs, that will be kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, it's like a $2 card, but still, like, you would think in 100 packs, I could at least open up the other reason why I bought these. All right, I got my 2 chases already. Got myself a Silvia and a Blue Eyes. I would love to pull the, first of all, I would love to pull a second Blue Eyes if I can be real with you. But I would love to pull another Silvia if that's the case. Not to hate on Chamber. I actually like Chamber a lot. And even though I have 3 copies of QCR, again, I'm just a big fan of the textures that they have for OTS cards. You know what's interesting though? I feel like my card didn't get stamped correct. The reason why I say that is like sometimes I have seen Ultimate Rare cards that are missing texture. I have a feeling that this is one of those. Like, you can obviously see the circles in the back, but it's not as vibrant as, for example, like Ruxin's was. Ruxin's was super stamped. And you can tell because usually on the back, you can tell where they stamped it. It's like always like a square outline for, you know, the box. But it's kind of missing that. So either got stamped very, very lightly, which I guess is good because then it's like less, you know, indented. And technically that could sometimes hurt a card from being rated high. Can I get it Sylvies, bro? I am about to walk away out of this video without a single Sylvie. Watch. It's gonna be one of the XYZ dragons. Or it's gonna be Lizardos. At least Lizardos is good. I wanna say Lizardos is more sought after right now than the Sylvie. I think. I might be wrong on that though. Nah. I think it's Sylvie. Sylvie is the most important one. Because again, that's the first time the card's gotten a rarity upgrade since common foil. Which is still kind of crazy to me. The fact that that card was released as a common in, what was it? Not Age of Overlord. Infinite Forbidden? Is that where it came from? Might be from there, I think. Might be wrong on that. Completely misremembering. I'm almost positive it was Infinite Forbidden, because that's where because that's where a Stellar came from. From Info. I'm a big fan of the White Forest engine. It's just really, really fun to play. But I'm also just a fan, as you can see, well, you can't see it. You kind of see it's over here. I'm a fan of Diabellstar. It has become my favorite card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. And the fact that it's like surpassed stuff like Dark Magician Girl, Blue Eyes, yada yada yada, tells you that I'm just a hardcore fan. And of course, you know, the Azamina stuff. And it just happens to also be playable, which is nice. Normally the decks that I play always end up being buns. I feel like a... Oh no, I'm tripping. I thought I saw like an indent. I'm like, yo, quality control. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this Blue Eyes though. Like I said, I personally am a big fan of it. Oh, there's not a single Sylvie inside these packs. How have I opened this many already? Watch you pull just 2. I need at least 3 for my decks. I also don't know what the pull rate is on ultis in these boxes usually. Finally, Sylvie, good lord. There she is, the one, the only, the queen. She taught Stellar and LZ everything they need to know. I love the story as well that goes on in White Forest. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the release of this Blue Eyes. I do think this is going to be probably the most sought after Blue Eyes White Dragon that's come out in a very, very long time. The thing that kind of held the QCR back, the same thing with the Dark Magician Girl, is the fact that it was so common. Way too common. And, you know, people want scarcity. And if a card is easy to pull, it's not as exciting. But these, honestly, in my opinion, this is the hardest Blue Eyes to probably get. That is, if you don't cheat like I did and just buy the packs online, like you're not supposed to. Hey, another Sylvie. Pretty sure, yeah, it tells you literally right there in the pack, not for sale. So they don't sell these at OTSs. But sometimes OTSs will break the rules and put it on eBay. Like I said, I don't got the time to go through the whole Yu-Gi-Oh spiel right now and go to locals every 2 days and pull XYZ Dragon parts. I don't. But yeah, if there's any card you're gonna go after right now, if you're looking into Yu-Gi-Oh, you're tired of other TCGs, you know, Pokemon, One Piece, whatever, I would recommend these because that Blue Eyes, like I said, is the most iconic Blue Eyes we've got in a very, very long time. I think the last time we got a, hold on, oh, that was something. The last time we got a Ultra Rare Blue Eyes was in 2011, and that was the structure deck one. That featured the tablet art, which a lot of people are not the biggest fan of. But getting that one is crazy. I'm mad it took 24 years to get here. Think about that. It took them 24 years to give us that Blue Eyes. When I used to go in Japan, I say like I stopped. Whenever I used to go in Japan in early times, like 2019 and after that, my goal was always to find a good version of this card. And that was before the card craze was like insane over there, where you can literally buy that card for like $500. Now, if you go to Japan and find those cards raw, they're like thousands of dollars. It's crazy. It's nuts. And I remember, it's funny because I have my friend, shout out to Talon, who was there with me. He was like, yo, they're talking about you. I'm like, oh, what are they saying? He's like, they're freaking out that you're spending this much on a singular card. Just goes to show you how crazy the game has changed. Because now if you go to Japan and ask to see a card, they'll bring it out in like a velvet tablet with like gloves and like, yo, make sure you don't touch it. They're like super protective of it, which is really dope to see because that's how I like to see cards being treated. I hate when you go to a place like, yo, can I see that card? And just throw it at you. Like, bro, relax. Imagine I threw it at my Blue Eyes and then it fell, exploded. That'd be kind of awkward. But yeah, I was hunting that card like crazy. I used to go. And the best copy I found, it ended up being a very, very bad copy. Because again, just like, you know, today, the printers aren't quite there yet to get decent quality for these. They tend to crack. They tend to have indents from when they press the card down, which I think, you know, sometimes graders will look at and count as damage. It's not damage, but, you know, it is what it is. And then if you have a PSA 10 of them, which also those usually be questionable because a lot of times, like I said, the cards tend to be more difficult to grade. The grade either gives a score too high or too low. I don't trust the prices for the cards that exist. So you really have to super observe the card like crazy. Hey, another Sylvie. You have to super observe the card to see if it's actually worth paying several grand. You know, Ruxin mentioned in his video, he sold his one recently, like a couple months ago, for $7,000 for a PSA 10. And he had bought, I remember he told me the story, he had bought that card years ago. I think he spent like $2 grand, something like that, which at the time was still pretty expensive, and just never graded it. And I was like, bro, grade it. That one looks very, very good. It graded a 10. So $7 grand. So yeah, if you're gonna hunt for any cards, not to create a gold chase right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! OTS 28, I would recommend it. We'll go start winning some tournaments. Hey, Chamber Dragon Maid. Look at that. This card is actually beautiful. I think Chamber and Kitchen are by far my most favorite of the Dragon Maids. And this one seems to have better centering. Let's see how the back looks. The thing about these is you're always gonna have super destroy. Actually, this back is great. Look at this. Normally these OTS cards have really, really bad damage because again the ultimate rare foil just cracks. I'm gonna get this one graded as well. So wait. I just noticed this in the bottom, but it's like excess cardboard. It's not like the card cracking itself. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, no, this one's gonna be like a 9 because I noticed this one on the right definitely is like chipping. We'll grade it anyways. You know, still looks great as a 9 in my opinion. But yeah. All right, so we pulled one of each so far. Rux in this video pulled 4. So I don't know if the pull rate is going to be around 4 or if it varies or if it is 4, if we got one more coming. But I guess if it's not going to be the Blue Eyes, I'm hoping it's Sylvia because I do need 2. Because I run Sylvia in 2 different decks. Me ain't saying like literally 10 minutes ago how I'm tired of the format right now. I'm not even going to be playing for a while. Watch by the time I come back and I actually start playing again, the deck that I play, everything will just be banned. That's a good way to just not come back, I guess. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not a game that I super try to keep up with every single meta. I find something that I like and I play it. I played Dark Magician for a while, obviously Blue Eyes, because I love those cards. Anything that's nostalgic, especially to my childhood, I'm always going to super play. But I think with the Diabell Star, everything around that lore is the first time I got really, really like interested and invested. More so than the branded stuff, and it's really, I like it. With me, as you guys know, or in case you don't know, when I find something that I like, I will play the fuck out of it pretty much. If there's a specific character that, you know, isn't a game, like a fighting game, I'm gonna hella play it. If there's a character in, like, let's say something like, I don't know, like Valorant or Marvel that just entices me, I'm gonna play more. It isn't like, I'm the type of person who might just stop playing it altogether if they just like change everything into the ground. Like, so again, I'm just more tied to the character sometimes than the game itself. That's one of the same stupid like Shadow Vessel 3 times. I did. What is going on? But yeah, I don't know. Let me know how you guys are when it comes to these things. Am I just being dramatic? I might just be dramatic. I don't know. I was a big fan of Snake Eye, obviously, just because again, it's the Diabell Star lore, and I did not like how the TCG hit that deck compared to like the OCG and Master Duel. I feel like Master Duel did it the best because Master Duel, well, recently they also hit Oak finally, but Master Duel for a while made the deck still playable while allowing a lot of interruptions in your opponent's deck to actually still stop it. And then same thing with the OCG. OCG actually ended up hitting the deck enough to the point where it's playable, but it made people change to the new shiny toy that's coming out. But the thing about Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion, I feel like whenever a shiny new toy comes out, people are always gonna gravitate to it anyways. It has nothing to do with other decks being nerfed. Like, I mean, sometimes people want to stay on a deck just because the game is expensive. So being forced to change decks every couple of months, I feel like it's just not financially reasonable to a lot of people. So I don't like when they make changes like that. It's like, why? But it is what it is. This pack, I predict, let's say Silvia. Chamber Dragon. It wasn't ulti. We got Chamber Dragon made. Okay. We got another one. Let's see how this one looks compared to the first one. And with these. Oh yeah, this one, the corners are awful. Really goes to show you how lucky we got with the Blue Eyes, because the Blue Eyes doesn't have that. Blue Eyes definitely doesn't have that. This one is, oh my god, this is like a PSA 8. I'm not even gonna put that in the card saver, to be honest. This might just be a binder copy. How does the back look? See how you can kind of see when they stamp it, a little indent? They definitely are a lot more lighter with this box compared to normal. But hey, we got another one. We can put you right there next to the Lugia. Hang out with your sister over there. All right, so we got 4. The possibility that the rest of this video is gonna be a dud if it's anything like how Ruxin's was. But Ruxin mentioned that sometimes he'll open these and he'll get 6. This time he got 4. He also did get like a weird error card, where it was like one of those test prints, and it's possible that that test print could have replaced, by accident, an ulti, which I don't know how I feel about that. It's not like you can like grade that or anything. It's just like, cool, I guess I'll get nothing here. This could have been Blue Eyes. This could have been Silvia. I really hope there's another Silvia in here. But at least Ruxin has my back. I can text Ruxin and be like, hey yo, I'm gonna need both of those Silvias you got, bro. Just go ahead and ship them. Just go ahead and mail them out tomorrow. Alright. We got, but again, ideally getting a second Blue Eyes would be so hype. I feel like with it being Blue Eyes White Dragon, I doubt that they would put more than one in a case, which is the main reason why I also wanted to buy a case. And even then, that was a waste of money if I think about it, because that card's like 150 bucks ish, not around that neighborhood. I think it's gonna go down, or it's gonna go up later. It might go down right now once people get it initially. Then like when popularity resurfaces later, people are definitely gonna seek that card out. That's why I think it's a good one to pick up now. It still was not viable to pick up, you know, a box of 100 packs sealed. Or like, I think I paid 500 bucks just to walk away with the $150 card, 30, so 180, and then both of these are like 15. So we essentially got half the value back from the ultis so far. Even if I pull another Blue Eyes, it doesn't technically pay for the box. But hey, I figured it might be fun for a video, and if fate works out and I pull a good quality one, that's gonna look nice in my collection. Not gonna lie. Got that gambler spirit when it comes down to cards. And also, mostly, like I said, I want a Silvies, but again, those are $3, so I feel like that definitely wasn't worth it. But at least it's another bonus. Why did they print the ABC Dragon stuff? I know it's a rarity upgrade as well, but I don't know if anyone actually plays that deck. The last time I seen that deck was when me and Shield Chaos were dueling at Worlds. And he was using proxies because the cards weren't out in English yet. He actually was beating my ass at times. If certain cards resolved and you didn't have ways to stop them, it's like, all right, well, shake your hand right now. It is what it is. I think that's just the spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Another Sylvie! Why were all the Sylvies in the back? I said I only need 3 copies of that, so that's nice. Another Lizard Dose. All right. Again, if I can get at least one more ulti, whether it's Silvia or Blue Eyes, I think that's gonna be a dub. Hopefully not another chamber. I definitely don't want a chamber because, yeah. Because at least with chamber, I can try to buy that card raw. It's super cheap. Because the reason why that card is so cheap right now is because it has a Starlight rarity, which is technically considered a max rarity for the card. It was also released as a UCR, which some people might prefer more because the 25th anniversary stamp is, you know, a unique little thing to it. So this getting a rarity upgrade, you know what? I'm gonna just say it. I think this card, even though this is also in rarity collection, should have been the ultimate rare in this set. Because imagine pulling this card and Blue Eyes in the same set. That would have been kind of crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. But maybe they want to spread it out because I think the last set, or the set before that, was the one where they had Sage with the Eyes of Blue as a UTR. Now that I think about it, they dropped a lot of Blue Eyes stuff back to back to back in this OTR pack. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next Ultimate Rare ends up being Dragon Master Magia. Which that card might be crazy because, again, with how awful the print quality is on Ultimate Rares, getting a PSA 10 of that is going to be next to impossible. I'm going to be honest with you. And with how sought after and legendary that card is, you got Dark Magician of Chaos on the back and Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, that will definitely be a big fan favorite. Huge fan favorite. Dude, this pack was also kind of like ass. I feel like not only did it not fully like put the foil on my cards. Look at this. Someone's gonna be like, oh, they resealed it. They did not reseal it. I literally opened the box myself. Not to say that they couldn't have just done it themselves too, but like, why would they leave these in there if it was resealed? You know, it's a stupid thing to even think about. But at the same time, in the TCG world, it's so chaotic sometimes. I'm not surprised when stuff is resealed and things like that, because it's crazy how much the TCG world has changed, whether you're in Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or whatever. All right, can we get one more? Can we get one more Ultimate Rare? Imagine we get 2 more. That'd be nice. The last time I bought OTS packs, I was in Japan. Actually, no, twice. I definitely pulled for Diabellstar and OTS 26, and that was rough because I bought so many packs to pull Diabellstar, which was like a $20 card at the time. Oh, we got a second one! Nice! Dude, oh, this one looks great too. I like how they made a Silvia look great. Yo, honestly, that corner has a ding as well. I'm more shocked at how good the back looks. Like they cooked in the back. Honestly, I might get this one graded just because I really like this card. I love everything with the lore on White Forest. Do I even gotta mention it? I love it a lot. That's cool. We did get a 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice, not bad. And we got Blue Eyes. We got everything, which is beautiful. You know, obviously the big goal. All right, so now we got, let's see, I'm gonna lowball it. So 150, 1550, 180, and then these are about 30 each. So 240 in value for the 500. We're definitely not gonna make the money back on the bulk. So let's just assume that I spent. Man, let's be real. I spent 500. What am I talking about? Why am I trying to justify the math here? Well, I pulled the value. No, you didn't. You did, but you didn't. All right. But hey, if that Blue Eyes happens to be good enough for a 10, because it does look great. It looks way better than the ones I've seen online. I know one was pulled by locals, and someone was offering to sell it. And I saw the pictures. I'm like, ooh, those corners are bad. The same corners I had on the chamber that I didn't even sleeve, the Blue Eyes had for them. So I was like, yeah, I think pass. So at least if mine's good enough, maybe I might send it to whatchamacallit, ARS. The thing about ARS is they are more expert. They're more experts in grading Yu-Gi-Oh cards. But the one thing that they don't heavily dock the card for is centering. I mean, I think if a card's super off-center, they're not gonna give it a good grade. Although I have seen some 10s that didn't look like they should have been 10 off the centering alone. But they have 2 10s. They have a 10 and they have a 10 plus. To show you what a 10 plus is, here's a regular 10 right here, as you can see. And then this looks great. And then a 10 plus that I have is, I believe, oh yeah, right here, this Dark Magician Girl. See 10 plus? This is basically their version of a black label. They look a lot better in these cases. In ARS, they specialize in Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I think with them knowing that, when cards are stamped for the ultimate rarity, they have those indents in the back. Where if sometimes graders will look at that and be like, oh wow, this is crazy crease. It's like, bro, it's not a crease, it's just part of the card. I might send it to them. Maybe they'll give it a 10. Not a 10 plus, obviously, because of the centering. But maybe they'll give it a 10 just for everything else. And worst case scenario, if it's a 9, the grade's in the back, so you don't even get to see that stain just sitting there staring at you. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take a wild guess that we're not gonna get one more. Because Ruxin only got 4. But he did say he's gotten 6 before. Although I'm convinced that test print card that he got just replaced an ultimate rare. Which has gotta be, gotta be the most Ruxin thing ever. It's like, of course, Ruxin pulls an error card that takes the place of a ultimate rare. That only happens to him. Hey, another Sylvie. All right, down to the last 2 packs. What are we thinking? Left or right? Left. Bet. One more blue eyes? Question mark. One more blue eyes. Those corners. Nope, that stupid Lucius Shadow Vessel card again. Last pack. Although I really doubt we'll get anything else here. Last pack. Let's actually do boom and boom. Here we go. We have brain control. Oh, fish. And we're gonna end it with a Sylvie. That's actually funny. Not gonna lie, the bottom just looked like it was an ultra rare foil at first, and I was like, oh, we actually got one. We did not. Right, so the spoils. The spoils are pretty good. We got Silvia, which I'm excited about. This is gonna go right into the deck. Then we got our second Silvia, which I might grade as, like I said. The only thing about this one is top left corner. It's got that ding. But like with PSA, there's a bit more leniency with these things, so it might 10. This one definitely won't. And then this one, oof. Those corners are some butt cheeks. And of course, the one, the only, the other queen of the dragons. Blue Ice White Dragon. Canonically, this is actually a girl, in case you didn't know. This looks great, man. Yeah, this looks very, I mean, I look at it. It's just, with how bad, like, again, picture this chamber with those 2 dings. This doesn't have that. It's just, the only thing I have is the centering, man. Oh, PSA, have some mercy on me, man. But maybe we'll get lucky, so we'll see what happens. And again, I'm pretty sure they didn't stamp it that hard because, you know, you can see that the circle isn't as thick as the other ones are that's all online. Of course, the other Chamber Dragon made that also has the corners, but not as bad. Maybe they'll see this one and be like, yeah, it's an 8, and then give this one a 10. I don't know. Sometimes PSA has weird logic that, you know, in my head will make sense. Other times when I'm looking at it, I'm like, how does it get a 10? But it's a success. I'll see you guys in the next upload. Hope you had a great day. Till next time.